Thank you for joining me here this evening. The time is currently 5:52 p.m. Central, and you have a live look at a tornado warning for Oxford, Nebraska. Currently, there's a rotating supercell capable of producing a tornado approaching Oxford. So if you're in Oxford, Beaver City, or Edison, you need to take shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a building, away from windows, and in an interior room. If you're in a mobile home or in a vehicle, evacuate and find the most substantial shelter, and try to avoid flying debris because it's going to be dangerous out there. Jeez, I cannot speak. Don't you just love whenever I can't do an intro? No, but seriously, there's going to be the potential for flying debris out here in this area, so make sure that you can get to your shelter safely, alright? If you cannot get to a shelter safely, the best thing to do is lie flat in a ditch, alright? That is a better solution than being in a mobile home or in a vehicle. It sounds stupid, but it's true, so please take all the precautions necessary right now to protect yourself from this very dangerous storm. This is our first tornado warning of the day, and it will not be our last. We have ourselves a tornado watch in effect for portions of south central Nebraska, including areas like Broken Bow, North Platte, Kearney, Grand Island. We are going to have the potential to see a couple tornadoes down here in the evening and nighttime hours as we start to see more and more of these prefrontal cells kind of pop up here. And again, we have a line of storms behind them, obviously, here. Developing line of storms anyway, so we've got to watch out for these very dangerous tornadic supercells, and then again, obviously, the threat for some widespread damaging winds up to 60, maybe even 70 miles an hour as well, okay? So we're going to look out for that. Now, up to the north here into portions of South Dakota, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the central portions of the Dakotas here, and then also northwestern Nebraska, alright? This includes big cities, alright? Pierre, Bismarck, down into Valentine, Alliance, Scottsbluff. Scottsbluff got hit hard, pretty hard earlier. So, again, we're going to get... Oh my gosh, I cannot speak. We're going to continue to watch all these locations here over the next few hours. So, I'm going to go ahead and fix our warning counter here because I don't believe it's accurate. We have 1 tornado warning and 5 severe thunderstorm warnings, so we'll go ahead and fix that up. Yeah, we definitely don't have 18 severe thunderstorm warnings, and we definitely don't have 0 tornado warnings, so there we go. I'm going to go ahead and pull up stream chat, so if anybody has any questions about the location, feel free to leave those down below. I will try to answer them accurately and honestly. Yes, tomorrow is looking big, alright? Tomorrow, we have ourselves an enhanced risk of severe weather for portions of the Central Plains, including areas like, Kansas City, all right? Areas to the north of Kansas City, I guess. It doesn't quite include Kansas City. Mainly our big radar dead zone, actually, out here, though, in northern Missouri and southern Iowa. So a lot of these storms tomorrow are going to be nearly impossible to look at because we don't get good radar coverage out here, all right? That's a big problem. This is one of the worst radar holes in the entire country. So, anyway, all right, Chillicothe, Trenton, Kirksville, back up towards Centerville and Ottumwa, Maryville, out towards the greater northern portions of Kansas City here is where our enhanced risk of severe weather lies. Now, this is driven by a wind threat, not a tornado threat. We do have a tornado threat. It's on the lower side of things right now for tomorrow, but I would not be surprised if it did get upgraded, right? So, this is the tornado outlook for tomorrow. Sorry, I gotta catch my breath really quickly. What's up, Mr. Storm? But yeah, this is the tornado threat for tomorrow. In the brown, that's a 5% chance to see a tornado within 25 miles of any given point there. Again, that's going out for parts of Missouri, Iowa, just a sliver of Nebraska, and Kansas as well. Now, would not be surprised to see an upgrade to a 10% hatched risk of tornadoes for this. And my printer's going, so that's nice. But anyway, hopefully that stops here in a second. I don't think anybody's printing anything yet. It's just making paper. Don't you just love whenever, bad timings like this happen? It's just the best, isn't it? Come on now. There we go. Sorry if that freaked anybody out. Okay, it's still going. Anyway, I would not be surprised if they had a 10% hatch risk, because I do think a strong tornado will be possible tomorrow somewhere in this area, so we'll look out for that. But again, right now it's chilling at a 5% risk. Jeez Louise. As soon as I start the stream. Really? Oh my gosh. Alright, anyway, yeah, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. This will probably be a decently long stream here, as again, we're starting to get some of these tornadic supercells to pop off in portions of south central Nebraska. This is our first tornado warning of the day, and again, it will not be our last. Look at that rotation there south of Edison. I think it finally stopped. But yeah, south of Edison there's our area of rotation. Alright, it's going to be approaching Oxford over the next several minutes, so if you're in Oxford, you need to be in that tornado safe spot. July 4th, severe weather looks interesting. Yes, we have a day 4 slight risk of severe weather here. for the 4th of July. So if you're planning on going look out at fireworks and stuff like that, you may want to look out if you're in portions of Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, even just including a little tiny sliver there of Illinois, but nobody lives out there, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, we've got severe weather for the next few days, so we're going to watch all these days. We're going to be live for all these days, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, here we go. We've got ourselves, again, a very dangerous storm south of Edison, Nebraska. And again, if this is actually producing a tornado, this is kind of bad, because this is going to be rolling right in to the Oxford area. So, yeah, we need everybody out here to be in their tornado safe spot. Luckily, we have literally every storm chaser on Radar Omega that's online right now in this area. So, there we go. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule out an isolated strong tornado today, but it's more of a conditional threat than anything. I think that if we do get a strong tornado, though, it could be a very strong tornado. I wouldn't rule it out. And again, this supercell looks pretty dangerous to me. So again, if you're in Edison or Oxford, you need to be in that tornado safe spot. Yeah, the new hurricane track. Alright, for Hurricane Beryl here. Currently, it is a catastrophic hurricane that just went through the Lesser Antilles. Insane damage photos coming out of there. It's just sad to even talk about, but sustained wind speeds of 150 miles an hour, maximum gusts of 185 miles per hour. Now, luckily, if this does make some sort of impact on the United States, which at this point is even looking a little less likely, it's not going to be anything major, but it's still sad to see, So, anyway. Again, back over here to our Tornadic Supercell. Again, this is a tornado warning that's remaining in effect for portions of northeastern Furness and northwestern Harlan counties for anybody that's just now tuning in. Hopefully we got viewers from Nebraska here. Yeah, definitely some tragic damage photos. We've got our inflow going into the storm. This is a really dangerous storm here. And if this does produce a tornado, it could be rain wrapped, so don't go outside and try to look for this thing, as it could be shielded by heavy rain. So, again, just gotta watch this, guys. This is a really dangerous storm. Again, Oxford, northward, we need you guys to shelter, even if you're to the south of Oxford. You never know. This could, dance around a little bit, but right now it looks like it's gonna go off to the north of Oxford in particular. But again, even south of Oxford, there we need you to remain in that safe spot if you're in between Oxford and the Hollinger area, or Stamford. So, again, first tornado warning of the day here. Pretty concerning one. But again, luckily we got storm chasers Nathan Moore, Brandon Kopic, and Vince Welty all on this storm here. Look at that. You can even see it rotating, dude. Looks like
Sirens are going off.
Some Scuddy action going on there. Wow. So apparently the sirens are going off in Oxford, so that's good. Wow. Really impressive.
Whoops, camera's angled the wrong way. Sorry, guys.
Look at that. Very ominous looking wall cloud. Look how windy it is, by the way. Look at the crops. Or not the crops, but the weeds.
Let me see if I can pull off in here real quick. Get you guys a better view from the side.
That is, again, not the kind of storm we want to see. Whenever it matches up with this kind of radar imagery, we could have ourselves a strong tornado. That is crazy stuff. Yeah, that's not good. Again, we're going to likely get a tornado with this storm here if it continues to intensify like this at any minute. Right now we are talking about gate-to-gate shear values being, 100 miles an hour. So, again, that is a really concerning look there on the velocities. We are in a bit of a radar hole, but it's not too terrible. But it's just enough to the point where we may not be able to see a debris signature on the correlation coefficient, even if this does touch down. It also may just, not be picking anything up because it's in a really rural area. Yay! Thank you, printer. I'm so glad you're going off again. Sorry, guys. Here, I'll mute up here really quickly. Alright, that was really quick. I don't know if a tornado was on the ground. Well, I mean, you have to verify it here with the velocity couplet, and then also if there's a CC drop. I can't tell if you're asking me or if you're telling me. What's the reflectivity showing? Nothing crazy, but there is inflow. A little bit less so at this point, but again, still some inflow poking into this storm here. Okay, so you were just joking. Alright. Yeah, if Reed Timmer, said that, that's probably not a good sign. Again, that is a really concerning storm there. The rotation's a little more broad on this most recent scan, but still watching it there. I mean, based on the reflectivity presentation, I'd say the only reason it doesn't look like a classic supercell is just because it's a high precip one. It's not quite what you'd think of whenever you see a supercell. I don't think this is going to drop a tornado anymore. I definitely don't think it's going to drop a big one. We do have a storm actually all the way down into New Mexico that has a considerable severe thunderstorm warning with it, indicating 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. They think they see a big one. I really don't know what they're talking about, because yeah, it's not on the ground. Or at least it's not confirmed at this point. Yeah, we need you guys to be in your safe spot, but there's no way to confirm that this is on the ground. Well, I mean, there may have been a funnel, but... So again, right now this is going just off to the north of Oxford. Had one of those moments where your hands type what you weren't thinking. Gotcha. So again, I mean, broad rotation at this point with our storm here as it approaches Highway 634. Just crossed over Highway 136, going northwest of Oxford at the moment. So it'll be due north of Oxford. Then we're worried about areas like Mascot and Atlanta especially. I think is going to be in the direct path of this. So maybe not in the direct path. It's heading a little further north, but you know what I mean. Is this the NWS in North Platte? No. It's in Hastings. Reed's got some view. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a interesting looking storm. Brandon Kopic had a really good view. Nathan Moore's got an incredible view of the wind.
Turn right on US 136.
Look how windy it is. Wow.
Look at these spot movement right here, guys.
Maybe even, 65-mile-an-hour wind gusts right there. Those are some really impressive looking...
Looks like you're in the outflow right now.
Shakens on those trees there.
This I don't even know what
Yeah,
he's
this
looking
is
at.
a really dangerous storm. You can see the clouds. That's... Wow. Guys, let's not start up the North Platte drama again. We don't need to talk about it again. It's on the ground, possibly, is what Reed just said. Did he actually say that? That's crazy. There's a funnel. Well, this storm is very close to producing a tornado, I guess. North of Oxford. Northwest of Oxford in particular. I mean, doesn't look that impressive on the velocities. There's no CC drop. Yeah, and it'll be a rain-wrapped one, so I'm surprised he even sees the funnel. Reed said it's not on the ground. Okay. But again, this is our concerning velocity couplet there. You ain't trippin', dog. Okay. But, yeah, some of these storms down here in the southwest are really overperforming once again. It's been kind of the trend recently. I'm confused. Why can I not see satellite imagery on here of Barrel? It has not worked for me yet. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Nice action-packed twist videos. Thank you. I just recorded a couple. So there we go. I mean, there's Hurricane Barrel. Wow. You can see that. That is just a picture-perfect hurricane. It does not get much better than that, guys. If anything, it's getting even more impressive. Again, we are expecting by 1 a.m. tonight that we have a hurricane with maximum wind speeds of 150 miles an hour and maximum sustained gusts of 185, which is enough to destroy a lot. Alright, that is going to rip up trees and power lines. That is going to do a ton of damage to roofs, stuff like that. It's going to potentially wipe homes off their foundation, even. So, news for your thunderstorm warning here for 60 mile an hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. But again, right now our main focus is on our tornado warning storm. It could be a Cat 5. There is a really good chance at this point. At this point, it's like literally probably a 40% chance that it's a Cat 4 and a 60% that it turns into a Cat 5 at max. That would be my estimate. You know, originally I was saying 30%, but my confidence is increased quite a bit here, guys. Again, it's still not the most likely scenario. I think the most likely scenario is that it gets to high-end Cat 4 strength like it's projected to right now, but it's a possibility considering the unexpected rapid intensification that it's undergone over the past couple of days. I mean, it was expected, but it was not expected to be that intense or dramatic. So at this point, our gate-to-gate shear is really increasing. We're talking about 106 miles an hour there. Again, no debris signature quite yet. Alright, I mean, we're starting to get a pretty defined hook there. And the velocities are kind of glitching out here. Reed just said it's on the ground. Alright, it's rain rat, but we have a tornado on the ground now. I'm going to trust Reed Timmer's word. There's literally nobody I would trust, nobody's word that I would trust more in this situation than Reed Timmer. So, Tornado on the ground in Nebraska, everybody. Okay. So, if you're just not tuning in, we now have a tornado on the ground. New tornado warning has been issued. It's a radar indicator one, but this is on the ground. So if you're in Holdridge, Loomis, Atlanta, Ragan, we need you guys to get to that tornado safe spot because we have a tornado on the ground right now. Yeah, the velocities are kind of glitched out. But this is on the ground, apparently. Again, the reason we're not seeing any sort of definitive debris signatures because there's literally nothing to pick up out here, but your tornado would be right in here, really close to where Nathan Moore's at.
The hail is further north of you. Not a big concern.
Alright. So again, I know we have a lot of viewers just now joining. Hopefully we got people from Nebraska. We have a tornado on the ground north of Oxford, Nebraska, heading northeast towards Atlanta, Holdridge, and Ragan. Get to your safe space immediately if you're in this area. Again, this is a really dangerous storm. This is a, again, tornado on the ground here. And again, we've got a hook echo and everything. It's not the most traditional supercell, but you can tell it's there. And this, could stay on the ground for a while in this kind of environment. We could have ourselves a decently long tracker here. Yeah, it's gotta be completely rain-wrapped, dude. I don't know how Reed's ever saw it. He was probably, driving through it, knowing him, though.
You definitely see the lowering.
It's hard to know if it's on the ground or if it's a funnel, yeah. Yeah, it's debatable, but I think, again, if Reed said that it's on the ground and there is a funnel and it's rain wrapped so we can't tell what's going on, I think the best decision here is just to assume that this is on the ground. So, it's not on the ground. Alright. Did Reed say that? Okay then, you say so. That rotation is pretty impressive though. His stream is buffering, okay. Big lowering. Yeah, we could kind of see that on Nathan Moore's feed too. Yeah. I mean, this is really close. It's kind of as close as you get to having a tornado without actually having one if it's not on the ground. By the way, we do have some hail associated with this storm. It's just not, where our chasers are at the moment. Yeah, it's hard to know whenever it's rain wrapped like this. Did a handover, okay. Alrighty. So, let's go and update our warning counter here. So again, if you're just not tuning in, we do have a tornado warning for Holdridge, Nebraska. So, I mean, this is one of our more populated areas here in south central Nebraska. It's not a huge town, but it's got a couple thousand people. So, again, hopefully everybody in that town is getting to their tornado safe spot immediately, as they are included in this tornado warning. They pushed it out that far just to be safe, I think. Reach chat is heated. They talking about whether or not it's on the ground, I bet. Yeah, at this point, it's looking like we're mostly going to be talking about our area where our hook echo is. Whoops. Just got a CC update as soon as I switched over. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no area of central Nebraska has perfect connection. Nowhere in central Nebraska does. Nowhere in western Nebraska does either. Really, it's only the Omaha-Lincoln area where you're almost guaranteed to get a good signal, and even then it's iffy sometimes, so. Yeah, this is producing some pretty huge hail here. It has a 70 dBz reading on our reflectivity scan. What if we look really high in the atmosphere here? Too high. Yeah, so at tilt 2, still 70. And that's as high as you can go without it getting inaccurate. Getting a little, I mean, not inaccurate, but it's getting underrated. So, and there is our hook echo and possible tornado. Again, this is the supercell that definitely could and might have already, but it's not confirmed. It's iffy. I hate storms like this where we have absolutely no idea what's going on just because of how ridiculously rain-wrapped it is, but that's just the case here, guys. This is the Schrodinger's equivalent of a tornado. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not, but we won't really know until the chaser gets close enough. But again, our tornado warning here does technically still include Oxford, but at this point, Oxford is fine. We're mainly concerned about Atlanta, Clyde, Holdridge, and Reagan. Sorry, you're back. All right. So again, this is our area of rotation right now, north of Highway 634, and it's heading towards Atlanta, Clyde, Holdridge. And I think that this is going to go really dangerously close, actually, to the Atlanta area. So we'll watch it. It's probably going to go somewhere in between Atlanta and Clyde, if I had to guess. But again, as a safety precaution, we need everybody in this warning to be in their safe spot unless this has already passed you. At this point, Mascot is good, Oxford's good, but everywhere else, you are not in the clear. We need you to remain in that tornado safe spot. Look at that cell northeast of Goodland, Kansas, supercellular look. Goodland. Oh, yeah, that's I don't know if I'd call that a supercell yet, but it's like a little baby storm, but it looks pretty sharp there. So we'll see what that does. No sort of rotation yet with it, but we'll see. I mean, at this point, yeah, not Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta, Nebraska. At this point, the wind is going to be the main threat. Again, we've been saying on all these Chasers feeds, especially Nathan Moore, just so windy out, and it's... What is that?
Okay, looks like she's trying to tighten up. Just to your left.
I guess it's just a crack in his windshield or something. It looks like a funnel, seriously, but the winds are just so extreme with this storm here. And again, it is rotating, and it does have the potential to produce a tornado, but if nothing else, these communities are going to get some trees and maybe some power lines even down, maybe some roof damage or something, some shingles ripped off, whatever. As, I mean, our velocities here, they're not low. Again, at the surface, we could have maybe some 60-mile-an-hour winds with this storm. Yeah, it's warned for 60, maybe even up to 70, but there's no confirmation on that. I mean, there's no confirmation even technically that it's up to 60, but we've seen the gusts. There's easily 60. So, again, this is, as close as it gets, man. It really is. This is as close as you get to a tornado without having one. I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a weather spotter confirmed tag on this warning.
I got a nice couple.
Would not be surprised at all if a spotter saw this. Because, I mean, again, we are so dangerously close to having a tornado on the ground there. Again, at the moment, if we do have a tornado, it looks like actually it'd be back here. Along Highway 4. It's kind of doing another handoff, it looks like to me. So, I mean, that's broad rotation, but it is strong. Definitely enough to keep the tornado warning in effect there. That'd be enough to prompt a brand new one, even, I'd say. So, again, this is a storm that is not going to play around. It's going to try to produce a tornado as hard as it can. So at this point, our velocity couplet should be located right in there along Highway 4 to the north of Highway 4, maybe a little. It's just such a mess on the velocities, man. It's hard to tell what's really going on here, but yeah. I mean, again, this is a really dangerous looking storm here, to say the least. And, I mean, Vince Welty is staying on it, Brandon Kopic staying on it, and Nathan Moore staying on it. I'm a little interested in what's going on down here. Yeah, this is just a really dangerous storm, especially because we don't know exactly what's happening right now with it. Really odd situation here. One that we don't see too often. Again, just an absolute mess on the velocities here. And it keeps trying to do a handoff. It's really quite interesting here. So it looks to me like our rotation's in there. Pretty much right on top of where Vince Welty's at once again, so. But we'll keep watching it there. Obviously. And Brandon Kopic and Nathan Moore are way back here. They really got to get going if they want to get on this thing.
Sorry guys, I'm going to lose my mind in a minute with how much this thing keeps dropping data. Just shifting to the south, we're getting all these rain curtains are just...
So again, our rotation is literally anywhere in there. And it's just, again, as close as you get to having a tornado without having a confirmed tornado. Again, it's just off and on, man. Right now we got some pretty high gate-to-gate shear at about 100 miles an hour, 109 miles an hour. Gotta go eat. Alright, see you later. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's looking to me like it's going to go right into Atlanta, which is off to the southeast of Atlanta. So you're not going to take your tornado safe spot. Wow, look at all the blow-in.
Let's see what this road's like.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. It's all that gravel. Oh yeah, we're slipping. We got ABS kicking in here on the flat ground. I'm not doing it.
Wow.
Heck with that.
Yeah, these folks are definitely going to lose some limbs at the very least off their trees. And again, just a storm to watch. There's really been nothing else to focus on this stream other than that one storm. Our New Mexico storm briefly went considerable, but at this point it's barely even severe. So, we'll see. Just one supercell that's causing all of our problems tonight, but the problems it's causing, they're pretty serious here. Reading down the vicinity of the rotation. Okay, I wish his feed wasn't radar omega so that I could just pull him up for a second, but I can't. Now, rotation looks a little bit more weak to me at this point, a little bit more broad than it was a few minutes ago. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. I just had to cough quickly. Yeah, this is just a really messy presentation overall. And we're in a little bit of a radar hole, but wouldn't expect it to be this bad. We're only, 2 counties away from the radar site. So it's kind of interesting that it's this terrible. Let's get a quick Alberto update here. Or Alberto. I'm in Barrel. Thinking Alberto because, obviously because it was the last one, but because we kept looking back and forth on it in our last stream that we did a hurricane back and forth coverage on. So, again, that is just a really impressive look there. It's a picture-perfect hurricane. Again, Category 5 possible with that. It may be a Cat 5 right now. It's debatable. But again, Holdridge, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. We really have no idea what this storm's trying to do right now. And we're probably not going to here, and it's probably going to continue to be pretty intense as well. So they did just update this tornado warning. All it was, though, was it being condensed. Really the only difference, so. Yeah, at this point, mascot's no longer included in it. Click on mission in progress if you want to pull it up on stream. I don't think I can. For copyright reasons. Alrighty. So again, our area of rotation is literally anywhere in there. It looks to me like it's kind of up here, but at this point it's really not that strong. It's relatively weak. Pretty broad in general, but yeah, as long as this has the tornado warning, we'll be here with you guys covering it. And yeah, there's nothing else much to say other than what we've already been saying. If this does continue, it could approach the Kearney area, which obviously wouldn't be good, but I don't know. It kind of looks to me at this point, actually, that this area rotation is starting to pull up again. It'll tell, yeah. I mean, that'll probably tell us if it's Cat 5. If it is Cat 5, we'll probably end up knowing by the end of that. That scared me, because the next velocity scan's going to look up and be like that, but there's no way the tornado's that strong if it just touched down and there's nothing out here. Yeah. That did scare the crap out of me, though. He got me. Haha. Gosh, dude. Dude, that scared me so bad. I was like, oh my gosh. I don't even know why. Well, I do know why, because that would be a really violent tornado, but I don't know why I thought that could have been a debris signature for half a second. But, again, I mean, if we do get a tornado at this point, back in here would probably be our best bet. It's going to be a messy storm with a bunch of handoffs of rotation, multiple zones of rotation, stuff like that, but it's starting to clear. It's starting to become a little bit more apparent where our rotation really is at, and it looks to me like it's pretty broad at this point. It's decently strong, but again, if it's not tight enough, it's not going to do anything. Local news stations in Nebraska are calling this on the ground. Well, I guess then, just to be safe, we'll put our title back up to tornado on the ground. So, apparently this is a tornado on the ground now. Once again, or again, Reed Timmer didn't actually fully confirm it earlier, but apparently local news stations are saying there's a tornado on the ground south of Holdridge, Nebraska. So again, if you're in this area, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. Again, if you're not sitting in, tornado on the ground south of Holdridge, Nebraska. This is a dangerous situation, and you gotta run to your tornado safe spot in an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. If you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of there. Same thing for if you're in a vehicle, and find a more substantial shelter. If you can't, lie flat in a ditch. This storm is also heading for the Ragon area, Funk, Axtell, and Wilcox over the next several minutes. Multiple saying about the news station saying this. Okay. Yeah, this is probably on the ground then. So again, we have a tornado on the ground now per local news. So you need to get your tornado safe spot. Again, I'm assuming it's this back here. Again, that is not a debris signature, guys. That would be a huge tornado if that was a debris signature. It'd be really violent. But again, this does actually look like a pretty impressive supercell to me. We've got our hook echo in our area of inflow. And it's not exactly discrete, but it's just discrete enough to the point where it's managed to produce a tornado, apparently. So, yeah, this is going to cross over Highway 183 in the next couple of minutes. I'm assuming it's this. I'm hoping it's this. All this up here to me looks like contamination. I'm approaching Holdridge, and that would also be bad because it would be going into a populated city as opposed to this, where this is in an open field. There is a set of homes up here that this would hit if this is on the ground, so we'll see if we get a debris signature or something, but it'll be hard to tell because that thing there already looks like a debris signature anyway, even though it's not. But, again, this is a tornado on the ground per news, so we'll see if the National Weather Service decides to update this or not. This is our first real confirmation, I'd say, that this is on the ground. So again, we need everybody in this area to be in that tornado safe spot right now. Again, I know this, you know, maybe if you're not familiar with radar, you'd say, oh, we got bright colors up here. That's just contamination. Again, this hook echo is becoming more defined. Again, it is not super surprising to me that this is on the ground. It kind of did a little handoff again. So now it's a little further south. It would be up here, but nope, back here now. It's been that way for a couple minutes, but again, right over Highway 183 if it's still on the ground there, if it was not just a brief touchdown. That's where your tornado would be. Just now crossing it. And they did issue a new tornado warning for this. It's just an extension, still radar indicated, but Axtell, Funk, Wilcox, Ragon, we talked about a lot of you guys. And now's the time to go. Get in your safe spot. Sacramento, check Nathan Moore. Don't see anything. Oh, just wind? Yeah, the wind is pretty
Reported as
crazy.
a brief touchdown.
Also, let's do some hail. Maybe. Yeah, that's some serious wind, actually. Again, easily 60-mile-an-hour gusts with this. But anyway, again, new tornado warning has been issued. I wish my alert sounds were going off, but they're not. Nothing we can do about it. Yeah, I don't know why it happens some days and it doesn't others, but it's just the situation right now. But again, this is a tornado on the ground per news. So continue to watch this. Hopefully we got a lot of viewers just not sitting in from Nebraska. Again, tornado on the ground, heading for Wilcox and Sacramento. Wow, okay, so that, yeah. Assuming that's where our tornado is there. I know this is radar indicated, but what's their rotation watching? So over Holdridge. So they are talking about this near Holdridge. Is that where our tornado is, though, or is it down here? Great view from Connor currently. Yeah, unfortunately, he's not on Radar Omega right now. What, chat, if you know, where is the tornado? If it's still on the ground, where was it confirmed? Like, which of these was it? Because there's definitely rotation down here, but I don't know. What's up, Alan? Again, I have no idea, but if it is the one in Holdridge, that's not good. It's not that populated, but still, it's a town. People live there. So I don't know. We'll see. Heard someone on Nathan Moore say there's a brief touchdown. Well, he's back here, so it may have actually been this. Now I feel stupid. This looks really windy to me on his. Again, it would have been rain-wrapped if it did briefly touch down. Well, if it was a brief touchdown, by this point it would have already left it, unless that news thing has been, if it's still confirmed. If anybody knows, please let me know on that. But I doubt we have any confirmation. It's still on the ground, so we're putting it back down to tornado warning here. This storm has prompted 3 tornado warnings, and it's not even close to done, so see what happens here. You know, we've been live for almost an hour already. You guys are insane. We have 13 likes. Thank you guys so much. Really impressive performance on this live stream here. Alright. So again, we need everybody in those tornado warnings to be in their safe spot right now. There's literally nothing else to talk about. I'd be looking at some of our other storms, but they're just garden variety severe thunderstorm warnings, so. Our high plains event here's still going. It's just not really that impressive right now. Only a few special weather statements, honestly. The highest gust we got was 71 miles an hour. This is kind of an underperforming watch here. It was talking about the potential for even some tornadoes going up here, potentially, but really didn't happen. Scattered damaging winds to 70 miles an hour likely. Only one reported of a gust that high. Scattered very large, or isolated large hail events to the lime size possible. Definitely didn't see anything like that. So, yeah. Do a good job of reporting and informing. Thank you. Yeah, I've still got a lot to learn, but I'd like to think that I know at least somewhat what I'm talking about here. There we go. I just realized the severe warnings have been a little bit to the left, further left than I meant for them to be this entire stream here. It's because last stream we had double digits, so they need more space. Again, this is definitely a rotation down here. There's no doubting that, but I'm not sure if this was the tornado or if it was this up here. But, I mean, if Nathan Moore said it, then or somebody on his dish, and it was probably this up here, but a news station reported it, so we don't know if it was this or if they were talking about another one that could have spun up down here. It's a whole situation. It's pretty complicated. Does not make a lot of sense. Sorry if it's hard to keep up with, but trying my best, alright? Again, literally none of our other storms have gotten even close to becoming tornadic. This is the only one. We have not had a single other tornado warning today, but this one storm has prompted 3 of them. So again, this north of Ragon is pretty concerning to me. So again, if you're in Ragon, I'd like you to be in your safe spot. I have to think that the National Weather Service also saw this area of rotation, or else they would not have pushed this tornado warning this far south. They probably knew about 2, but they're only talking about this one up here because this is the main one. So that's why they're only talking about that one in their description of the warning. Anyway, again, tornado warning for southeastern Phelps, southwestern Kearney, and northeastern Harlan counties in central Nebraska here, south central Nebraska. So again, we need everybody in this warning polygon to be in their safe spots. We don't exactly know what's going on or where it's going on, unfortunately, but we know this storm is doing something. We can easily see something trying Connor stream. It's cleared up and not rain wrapped. Okay, good to know. Unfortunately, I can't pull that up right now. I could pull it up, but then I wouldn't be able to read chat, and that's kind of more important, because then you guys can just relay to me if there's something going on the other streams. Let's see here. Again, I mean, there's really nothing else to, talk about other than Beryl. You'd think this would be a pretty exciting stream with a, tornado watch and a major hurricane, and the earliest major hurricane ever in recorded history. But, nope. Because, yes, this was the first major hurricane ever to occur in June. It also may be the first Cat 5 in July, if it does get to Category 5. I doubt we've ever had a Cat 5 in July, and it would be on July 1st, too. So there's definitely never been one on July 1st. There hasn't even been a Category 4 on July 1st, I'd assume, so, because there hasn't been one in the entire month of June. But, anyway. Hasn't even been a Category 3 in the entire month of June before, until this. And again, even before it underwent rapid intensification, this was expected to be a major hurricane, so this is really just a beast of a system here, even if that burst of rapid intensification didn't happen. If any of them didn't happen, because it's had multiple, it has. But anyway, hey, my alert sounds are working now, that's great. News for your thunderstorm warning has been issued for Loomis, Holdridge, and Funk. Quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gust there. Let's update the warning counter here. Just briefly. New severe thunderstorm warning, but one last tornado warning. Look at the velocities. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some form of damaging winds in here, up to 60 miles an hour, maybe even up to 70 miles an hour at times, but anyway, the hook echo's kind of occluded, and our rotation up here is weakened out quite a bit. So yeah, at this point, it's really just a damaging wind threat with these storms. So again, we do need you to be in your safe spot, because even if this doesn't produce a tornado, it already has, and it definitely could again. And also, it's still going to produce damaging winds at least up to 60 miles an hour, maybe up to 70, quite possibly. So, yeah. Let's see here. Keep saying let's see here because usually I have other storms to look at during these, but there's literally nothing else during this event here. We have a line of storms that are supercells probably struggling because it's attached to. That's producing damaging winds, but even those winds aren't severe other than for our supercell. Again, this little supercell, I think if it was a little further east ahead of the line here, it would have had a much easier time to produce that tornado that it produced. And it probably would still be producing one, you know? But it did not, luckily, so. So again, if you're just not tuning in, we have a tornado warning for Holdridge, Nebraska. We've been live for about an hour now, covering severe weather across parts of Nebraska. Currently, this storm is producing a potential tornado, damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour and quarter-sized hail. So if you're in this area, we need you to be in your tornado safe spot on the lowest floor of a building, away from windows, and in an interior room. Tyler Kurtz has an amazing view of the whole structure. I don't even know who that is, dude. Is that bad? Is that somebody that I should know who it is? Anyway. Again, I mean, if we just look, this supercell, it kind of developed fully. It became mature as the line was becoming mature, and it kind of just got stuck to the line because of that. So that's probably luckily the thing that's preventing this from actively producing a tornado here. Again, it still produced one, so that shows the intensity of this cell. If it wasn't attached to this line of storms, things could have gotten really bad really quick. That's why we were talking about a conditional tornado risk today, is because the HRRR and the NAM even, I think, were showing a cell in this area. But anyway, it's been a while since I've done this, but I have to use the restroom real quick, so I'm going to go and throw a BRB on the screen, and as that BRB says, I will be right back. So stay tuned. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am back, and I came back at a good time as we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for our cell here. This does include Kearney, Minden, Axtell, and Odessa Township. So if you're in this area, make sure you get indoors. Again, a lot of you guys need to be in shelter, but Kearney is now officially under a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, we still have some rotation here near Funk, but at this point it's pretty minimal. A lot of it's contaminated. So the main thing that we're staying live here for is our tornado warning there, obviously. Whenever that gets removed or gets, if it expires and doesn't get reissued, we will probably end things off pretty soon. So, again, I don't think it's going to get reissued unless things really change here in the next few minutes. So, in 9 minutes, we'll probably be wrapping up here. So, but yeah, the storm is officially moving into the Kearney area at this point. A lot of the tornadic potential is going to remain to the south of Kearney.
Wow, look at that.
Trying to happen. But just to be clear, for anybody that does not know, Scud has nothing to do with rotation. I just want to make that clear. I'm just saying it could be Scud or lowering. But Scud just scattered cumulus under deck, as it stands for. So we got a lot of these, like, little drapey looking things, these little finger shaped things sticking out of the storm here. Those are scud fingers, as I call them. Mr. Storm and Roman the weather guy make fun of me for it, but that's what I call them. Connor's a little funnel. Yeah, at this point it's probably east of Funk that's happening. All these handoffs and crap, it's hard to tell where, but it looks like this is our only potentially real rotation there, but even that looked like contamination to me. But maybe it's not. Let's see here.
6:36 p.m. A severe thunderstorm
It's welty. Hey, that was actually a funnel over here somewhere.
35 miles per hour.
What's that? That's some some sort of funk trying to develop here. So I'll have to watch again. East of Funk is where that is happening, it looks like, because I confirmed with Vince Welty's stream. Wow. Again, that looks like contamination, but just wow. Jeez. Okay. I don't think it is contamination, you know? We don't have any hailstorms blocking this radar's view. We don't have any mountaintops or anything. It's all flat plains. It's not like that's enhancing it or anything. This is really just some pretty serious wind action here at the very least, but again, also rotation. We've got what's probably a funnel trying to touch down. Look at that. I mean, that is just a monstrous storm, guys. It's an absolutely beautiful view there from Storm Chaser Vince Welty, or sorry, Brandon Kovic. Yeah, that's a funnel. That is a funnel cloud. So it's definitely drop a tornado. Yeah, it is. Seriously, it looks like a sidewind or lightning. I didn't even see it. I was looking at chat. I thought I saw a flash or something there. The tree line will get out of the way. Crazy rotation on the Connor stream. This has been rotating quite a bit, actually. Yeah, that's a funnel. And that's probably at least a third of the way to the ground, I'd say. No. Something like that. It's definitely a funnel cloud. Alright. Lost him. Oh, he's back. Well.
Wow. Look at this, people. Where else are you going to see this besides right here?
Where else are you going to see this besides right here? Famous quotes by Okay. This tornado warning may honestly get reissued if the National Weather Service gets any reports of that funnel there. Okay, that's, you know, again, pretty contaminated, it looks like to me, but also rotating pretty well. So, you know, we'll keep watching this here as long as it's still tornado warned. Okay, so literally the only thing keeping us alive at this point. We have 2 severe warnings, one of them being for this storm, the other one in Wyoming. And the one in Wyoming expires in 19 minutes anyway, so this is it, guys. This is the only reason we're here. What in the world is even going on? I don't know what is happening there, but Axtel, you need to be in your safe spot. This makes no sense.
Central Nebraska. Severe thunderstorm warning information.
I've been studying radar meteorology for like 15 months now. This makes no sense to me. That is insane. Look at how fast it's rotating and just moving in general, even. All that scud. That is literally like scud rain there. It's raining scud from out of the sky. It's raining scud. I don't even know
What
why.
a 10 out of 10 chonker this thing is.
Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining scud from out of the sky. Okay, that may be some sort of defined lowering trying to happen. Again, if that produces a tornado, it's not going to take very long here, it looks like. New severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. I don't even see where that's at. Is that an Alaska one again? It's in New Mexico. So, for anybody that is in the Tularosa Peak area in west central Otero or northeastern Donna Ana counties and south central New Mexico, make sure you're getting indoors there. Quarter-sized tail, 60 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour winds coming your way. We've also got a pretty significant gust front coming in, it looks like. That could honestly pack a punch with some 60 mile an hour wind gusts as well, I'd say. So we'll watch that for sure. But, again, we got to watch our tornado warning storm here. I'd be surprised if they let this warning, expire at this point.
Hastings
If not,
is
reissue it.
showing baby hail, but I don't believe it.
All that, dude. That's crazy. And there we go. So, they went ahead and extended our tornado warning here for the Minden area, all the way out towards Hartwell and Lowell. So, if you're in this area, seek shelter now. I imagine there's probably some folks in Kearney that had their emergency alerts go off that are just now tuning in. Kearney is fine. Alright, Kearney is okay, but the reason your phone is going off with that alert maybe because there's a cell tower in the warning polygon, right? Let's say you're out here in southeast Kearney. There's you, alright? Your phone is connected to that cell tower. It's getting information from there, so you're not actually in the warning. If you're in Kearney, remember, you're still in a severe thunderstorm warning, so you should be inside, but you don't need to take shelter. But the people that do need to take shelter are people that live in Minden, Norman, Hartwell, Lowell, or Newark, along Highway 634 there, along Interstate 80. You need to take cover now. Okay. So, let's go and fix things. They went ahead and let the other warning expire, obviously, but still need to get our severe counter updated. Barrel making history, 155 mile an hour winds sustained. Is that true? Oh my gosh. Is that true? Hold on, is that actually confirmed by the mission? Because if so, we are 2 mile an hour gust off, or 2 mile an hour sustained winds off. What is going on? Hold on, is this serious? Oh, okay. Sorry, I know I said that like 30 times. You're probably getting annoyed. 8 p.m. advisory? The message Mr. Storm, and he's like, no way, Cat 5. And I was like, no, not yet, technically. Alright. So, again, this is a historic moment. We have a hurricane. Hurricane Beryl is 2 mile per hour off with its sustained winds of being a Category 5 hurricane, the first ever Category 5 hurricane on July 1st, or even in the entire month of July, I believe. Let's see. Has there ever been a Cat 5 in July. Okay, so one was recorded in July. So there was actually one in July before. It wasn't on July 1st, though, so this is still... If this happens, it is so close. It's so close right now to being the first ever Cat 5 on July 1st. So we'll see. Again, this is not good. Again, luckily it's not really impacting anywhere right now. Maybe some rain and higher waves, some gusty winds in the areas surrounding it, obviously, but it's not directly landfalling on anywhere right now, so that's good. I mean, it's gonna be in warm water, yeah. This is crazy. Anyway, back over to our tornado warning storm here. It's a live look from Axtell, Nebraska.
Holy crap! I can't feel my hand.
Or it's just scud, but seriously, dude. The pressure is 938 millibars. Holy crap, it is. 155. Oh my goodness. You guys, I don't think... this is insane. Again, if you're just now tuning in, we just got confirmation that Hurricane Beryl is officially 2 miles per hour in terms of its wind speeds off of being a Category 5 hurricane on July 1st. The first ever this early in the season. Hurricane warnings for Jamaica now as well. I think Beryl was I think Ian was 934, wasn't it? Unless I'm mistaken. I know it was in the 930s. So it was either just a little bit stronger or just as strong, maybe even weaker in terms of its low pressure amount than Beryl here. So again, this is the kind of hurricane intensity that we're talking about right now. We are talking almost just as intense as Hurricane Ian, which I'm sure a lot of you guys remember if you were rattled by that hurricane, obviously. And that's insane stuff, guys. Big news for everybody out there that is in the track of Beryl. Some of the models were even showing this, like, coming up towards my area, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it's gonna definitely have a chance to make some sort of impact on the United States. Now, not all the models are showing that, but some of them are. About 66% of them, I'd say, about 2/3 of them are saying that this makes some sort of U.S., maybe not landfall, but impact. So, we'll see. I'd say landfall, though, for 66% of them. One of them's even showing up going towards the Florida Panhandle, which is ridiculous. But if you're in the Gulf, you do need to watch out, no matter where you're at. It depends on how this acts over the next 24 hours. That will decide where exactly in the Gulf this makes landfall. But it's going to be somewhere. Yeah, and one of them is even showing it going up into Illinois. A few of them actually are even saying that it goes into Canada, which is kind of crazy to think about. But anyway, again, don't listen to the odd model telling you something. Listen to the majority. So yeah, that is crazy information there. Glad you guys pointed that out. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, I doubt we've ever had even a 155 sustain in July 1st. Well, we have had it in the month of July, but on July 1st, I bet not. And again, it already broke a record being the first major hurricane in June, and the first Cat 4 in June, even. So if it breaks being, the second Cat 5 in July and the first Cat 5 on July 1st, that's crazy. Again, I mean, we're so close to June. Like, if this happened a day earlier, it would not be any weaker, and it would be a Cat 5 in June. That's what would have happened if it turns into a Cat 5 here.
Dumpster looking in the wrong direction.
So yeah, that's insane, obviously. But yeah, again, this is our tornado storm right now. It's been trying for so long. It really has. It's been trying for almost an hour and a half now to produce a tornado. And it did. It did at one point, at least. Very briefly. But at this point, it looks mainly like a damaging wind threat to me. But again, if you're in this area, if you're in Mendon, make sure you're staying in your tornado safe spot. Same thing with Collar, Hartwell, Newark, and Lowell, at least for the next 22 minutes here, or until the warning has been lifted. So, make sure that you're doing all that good stuff. So, on July 6th at 1 p.m., this is what the National Hurricane Center is saying that Beryl will be doing. So, it's saying that it'll be out here in the Bay of Campeche, and it will have, anywhere in the cone here it could go, according to the National Hurricane Center, and that's where they're expecting it to go. They're expecting it to go anywhere in the cone. Alright, so it's likely going to be in the Bay of Campeche here by July 6th at 1 p.m. It's likely going to, have a wind field that's going to definitely create some higher waves and, even have some gusty winds make it into portions of the Mexico East Coast there. Maybe as far north as the southern tip of Texas, but that's a bit of a stretch. I think we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see that. So, yeah, Connor's a wispy funnel. Yeah, Vince Welty kind of did too. Now gone, yeah. It is a really crazy looking storm, though. Very dark clouds. But yeah. So, anyway. Just nothing else to say than what I've already been saying, Just continuing to watch our Nebraska supercell here. Again, the only thing stopping this from producing a tornado, and even a strong tornado, I'd say, is the fact that it is completely attached to this line of storms at this point, And I think that's actually going to kill it pretty quickly here as this line kind of eats it up. It's going to kind of swallow this storm here. And the tornado threat will really significantly decrease with that storm. So that's the good news. The bad news is that could lead to an increased damaging wind threat with this, more than it is already. It's already warned for 60 miles an hour, but this line of storms has really been lackluster with its wind production today, but that could increase the wind threat for that specific part of the line. So, even after this tornadic activity ends, areas like Hastings and Grand Island are going to need to look out for a potential boost in the wind activity, I'd say, if that makes sense. Again, it's broad rotation, but it's strong. Thanks for the updates. Good night. Alright, good night. See you in the morning. Actually, I don't know if I'll be here in the morning, so can't say that, but see you tomorrow. I'll definitely be live tomorrow, and I'll probably make a forecast either tonight or tomorrow. I don't really like making forecasts at night for some reason. I like going live at night. I just don't do forecasts at night. I think it's just that people can see the information, because people aren't awake at midnight, so I've never, or at least I haven't oftenly posted a forecast at that time. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be a big day. Almost 1 million people under enhanced threat of severe thunderstorms. Luckily, one of the more rural spots in the country, actually. That specific corridor there, so that's good. We do have a wind damage report out of Axtell. tree branches down on the highway in Axtell via storm chaser along Highway 634 there. So, may have some tree damage out there, it looks like, from the damaging winds. Yeah, it's probably not related to a tornado. It's probably just straight line wind damage, if I had to guess. Tornado damage would be, obviously, for one, a bit more significant, and for two, I don't think we ever had rotation that was super impressive and confirmed to have a tornado in Axel like that. They just changed the shape of the polygon a lot. It's not like they condensed it, they just changed the shape. Which is interesting. Alright. So I think, here's kind of what I think is going to happen. So this cell is going to really, really try to produce another tornado. I think it's going to fail. I think it's going to produce a couple of funnel clouds. I think it's going to produce some wind damage, some hail. But I think what's going to happen is within the next half hour, this line of storms is going to have completely swallowed this supercell, and its tornado threat will be close to zero. We'll say, we do have a new area of rotation here, it looks like, unless that's contamination. Looks like rotation to me, it matches up with our hook echo, so maybe some new rotation there north of Keene to watch. It's heading up towards Minden, so we'll watch that, obviously, but again, we're going to be live as long as the tornado warning's in effect, guys. We've been live for almost an hour and a half now, and we will keep going for as long as necessary here. And the only thing is, other than Barrel, there's literally nothing else to talk about other than that supercell. So, yeah. And I think that Barrel's, eventually the cone is going to look something like this whenever we can see this far out. How do I make a little I'll just put TS, because I think it's going to be a tropical storm at this point. And up here, I think it's going to be a tropical depression. This is kind of what I'm expecting for Barrel. I think that's the most likely scenario. The worst case scenario, I'd say, would be, it's tricky, but I'd say it would be this curves off to the north and takes advantage of the high SSTs and remains a Category 1 hurricane and landfalls in the areas like southeast Texas and southern Louisiana. The reason I'd say it's the worst case scenario is because that is the most populated region that I'd say a landfall is realistic in. Yeah, there was the odd model saying this goes for the Florida Panhandle, but even then, one, I don't think it's as populated, and it definitely doesn't have as populated of a track after that. But two, I don't think that's going to happen at all. But if this makes landfall, let's say it makes landfall near, in between Houston and New Orleans, right? It has so many major cities that are going to be in the track of it, all right? We got Jackson, Mississippi, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, Roanoke, Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia, and however long it remains a tropical storm or a tropical depression for, but you get the point. There's going to be a high population ahead of it if it does something like that. And again, if it's Category 1 intensity at landfall at that area, then we could seriously see some, significant damaging wind activity pretty far inland here. So, I mean, for a lot of people that, are more inland and obviously can't get, storm surge, the main threat would just be damaging winds and flooding rain. It'd be like a severe thunderstorm, but a little worse and a little longer. But that's still obviously problematic, So, alright. Let's see here. Okay, we may have some rotation here north of Keene. At this point, it'd be northeast of Keene. I don't know how we don't have another velocity update yet. Have a reflectivity update. We have our CC update. Usually velocity takes a little longer, but still. Again, our velocity couplet, if it is a real velocity couplet and it's not contaminated, it'd be right in here. So we'll check for that. That's a way that we can confirm if this area is rotating or not. That area of the storm there. If it was rotating, it's not anymore. I think it was just contamination, though. So yeah, I mean, again, damaging wind threat, maybe an isolated pocket of rotation there north of Mendon is the main concern with this storm now. Damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, I'd say, at times. That would be like 1 or 2 gusts that gets to that point, admittedly, but still 60 to 65 mile an hour winds can't be ruled out with that, obviously, over a large swath. And it's warned for 60 from the National Weather Service there. I think if they used the 65 mile an hour tag a little more, they would have that tag, but for some reason they only use that on very rare occasions, which I don't understand why. I don't even understand why they have it, or why they don't have intervals of 5, increments of 5 for every milestone there. The increments, that's the word I was looking for. But anyway. Yeah, this tornado warning remains in effect for about 13 minutes here. And we're going to be here as long as it does. So there we go. There's the tornado report. A brief tornado, according to an NWS employee. So this did touch down at least once south of Axtell. So there you go. And that was only 10 minutes ago, so that's kind of scary. Too long ago to confirm if it's still on the ground or not, but still. Again, they said it's brief anyway, so that means they saw it lift, but... Alright. So again, this is the reason that the tornado warning is still in effect, and ultimately the reason that we're still live here. Got ourselves a pocket of very high damaging wind / possible weak rotation there. Yeah, it looks like this is in a pretty tornadically primed environment, so we'll see. And by the way, I don't think I've mentioned Tropical Storm Chris a single time on this channel. I mentioned the disturbance that led to Chris, but it did turn into a brief tropical storm and made landfall in east central Mexico here in a similar area that's going to get hit by Beryl as well, so that's rough. And they also got impacts from Alberto, and they're still kind of probably cleaning up a little bit from that, so... It's a rough time if you are in northeast Mexico or southeast Texas. So again, still measuring velocities close to 75 miles an hour there, so the surface winds with that could easily be up to 70 miles an hour there. And the line's moving just so slightly faster than the supercell, and the supercell's kind of already attached to the line, which is why it's moving a little slower. They're moving almost at the same speed. So it's going to get swallowed, and it's going to kill the supercell, luckily. So thank you to that line of storms, even though it's going to make things, hard to be outside, and it's going to be a thunderstorm. It is, but we can thank it for limiting this storm's tornado potential. But again, even with all those factors, this storm still managed to produce at least one brief tornado. So can you imagine what it would have done if it wasn't actively being killed by this line of storms here? It would have been awful. So, I mean, it's a good thing that that's there. Again, this is why we were talking about a conditional strong tornado risk today, because we didn't know if the supercell was going to be discrete or not. We were expecting the supercell, but we didn't know if it was going to be discrete. It wasn't discrete, so nothing too crazy happened. If it was discrete, we could have had some serious problems. We're talking strong tornado potential if that had happened. So, anyway. New severe thunderstorm warning northeast of Casper, Wyoming. Quarter size still 60 mile an hour winds heading for Highway 59. State Highway 59. Let's see here. Let's update our warning counter. So again, if you're just not tuning in, we do have a tornado warning now for Minden, Nebraska. We have a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado off to the north of Minden here. It is moving northeastward towards areas like Hartwell and Lowell. So if you're in this tornado warning, make sure you are seeking shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a building, interior room, and away from windows. If you're in a mobile home or a vehicle, make sure that you evacuate and find a more substantial shelter and try to protect yourself from flying debris on the way there. This is a tornado warning for northeastern Kearney County. And again, I mean, the actual city of Kearney is under a severe thunderstorm warning, but you are not included in the tornado warning there, and it's a different county anyway, but yeah, it's confusing here. It's in south central Buffalo County. And again, this storm is moving into the general vicinity of Grand Island, so we have to watch out because that's one of the more populated cities, once again, here in south central Nebraska. Very rural spot, mostly open farms and stuff like that, but, you know, Grand Island, quite a few people live there, quite a few thousand people. So, we'll watch it as it heads that way there, as long as it remains tornado warned. Yeah, at this point, it's really just a precautionary thing that this has a tornado warning. It's just, you know, this supercell already has produced a tornado, so I think they have the warning on it here because it's still very, very barely rotating. But I think if this didn't already produce a tornado, they wouldn't have this warning up. I think it's kind of a precautionary measure at this point, once again. New severe thunderstorm warning that does go all the way out to Doniphan, close to Grand Island. That's for 60 mile an hour wind gusts here for a large chunk of this line. So as I said, this supercell is kind of actively being swallowed, so it's decreasing the tornado threat, but this line of storms has an increasing wind threat now. So as that damage and wind threat increases, we should start to see our tornado threat really start to go down with our supercell here. Again, it's rotating very minimally in a couple spots, but at this point, it's a low tornado chance with this, or the chance that it produces another tornado anyway. So. They were talking about issuing a downstream watch for a line of storms here for portions of eastern Nebraska, northwest Missouri, and southwest Iowa. The severe threat should increase through the evening. Severe wind and hail are possible, though a tornado cannot be completely ruled out. A weather watch issuance will eventually be needed by between now and 8:15 p.m., so, 50 minutes or less, we're going to be seeing that, watch come out for a lot of these areas. Likely a severe thunderstorm watch at this point. It could be a tornado watch, but I doubt it since they're saying, a tornado can't be ruled out. Usually they need to have a little more confidence if they're going to issue that tornado watch. So, as you can see, this says, a couple tornadoes possible. But, anyway. Yeah, it'll mainly be a wind threat at that point. And I do think the wind threat will be a little higher than it is right now, so that's kind of why they're talking about issuing the watch, but yeah, it's a low chance. But southeast Nebraska, southwest Iowa, northwest Missouri, get ready for that. And there we go. They have removed our tornado warning. So with that, we're going to end off our live coverage here. We've been live for over an hour and a half. This has been severe weather coverage on July 1st, 2024. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great rest of your